One of the things that I would probably start off by saying, you know, when from the perspective of my role and the whole music thing, especially with the band that I'm working with out here in Australia, which is Jon Cleary and the Absolute Monster Gentleman, is my role is basically to make sure that the foundation is really strong and it's really tight. So, you know, which, you know, I mean, it doesn't, in a lot of tunes, you know, it just calls for me to really just do that, just to hold down the groove, hold down the foundation, you know, every now and then little expressions here, little expressions there, but for the most part, it's all about that foundation.
But it's a good groove to be just sitting on, right?
It's a great groove, you know. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it's very important to be able to find and settle in on a groove that you can really enjoy. You know, then that really inspires you to hold that groove.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes I find that a lot of bass players, and I think it's got to do with two factors. You know, one is they'll get bored because they really, you know,
they're not into
that thickness of the groove per se, and then they get bored and they want to play a whole bunch of other stuff to get out of that boredness.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it's so important to be able to find a groove, one, that you really, really like. Two, make sure it fits what that tune is doing.
Don't try and force your favorite groove into the song.
Exactly. See, and that's another thing. I mean, you got to play for the song. You can't play for you in every song. It's you know, I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you signed up to be a bass player, that's the job.
That's it.
You know, you can't win them all.
That's it.
You know?
Now, you know, I mean, look, they got a lot of projects, you know, bass solo projects. Well, then, yeah, I mean, you get a lot of free range to do a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I mean, if I could be frank, that's your time to get your nuts.
Exactly.
You know, you can go for it.
Yeah.
You know, you can get as many as you want, climax whenever you want to.
It's like that classic, you know, record producer thing when you're in the session and you're doing all this stuff and on the talk back, you know, that sounds great, man, but maybe save it for your solo album.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that.
So you know, I look, to be perfectly frank and honest, I mean, I never really was a solo bass player.
Sure.
I love creating a good bottom end, solid groove.
Yeah.
That's what gets me off.
Sure.
Now, I don't have anything against it. Don't get me wrong, because I've also heard that comment come from a few bass players, because they can't really do it, then they're against it.
Right.
that isn't where I'm at all. And,
Yeah, exactly.
and I'm not making that statement because of that.
For sure.
Because I'm constantly learning how to do that stuff. And I would love to constantly keep learning how to do it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, especially with the outfits that I'm working with, it calls for me to be solid.
Yeah.
And that's and just like you just stated, that's what I signed up for.
Yeah. You have to enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's the game.
And I love it.
But also, I think the guys who we think of as solo bass players, like maybe Victor Wooden, Marcus,
yeah, of course,
Stanley,
yeah.
They can hold down a groove like nobody else.
Man, let me tell you something.
They didn't get to be there by just doing that to begin with.
Bro, let me tell you.
They just spent hours and hours just playing bass.
I've heard and I've also been in his presence, meaning Victor Wooten, where Victor himself said, look, when it comes right down to it, I'm gonna play for the song.
Yeah.
And he's saying if that song calls me to do, he said, I will groove that shit on you all night. And I will make it feel as good as it needs to feel.
Yeah.
To me, that's important.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's great. It's beautiful to know how to solo.
Yeah.
And to know what to solo.
Yeah.
But it's so important to go back to very basics and fundamentals.
But also those basics and fundamentals, it's like a never-ending refinement journey. I'm sure like you've been playing the same bass lines or same songs for 20 years or so.
Yes.
And you're probably finding ways to make it that a little bit better each night.
Look, it's how should I say? I mean, it's like, and I mean, I'm gonna make this a little bit of a comparison, but it's like making love to your woman. Well, and I can only speak for me in this area. You're not gonna do it the same way every night.
Yeah.
You're not. You're gonna switch a few things up. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna pull off some stuff that you probably, didn't think of a few weeks before. But hey, look, you in the moment.
In the heat of the moment.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So, to me,
maybe some things that don't quite work.
Exactly. But you'll never know unless you try it.
Yeah.
All right. So, to me, that's how a lot of songs evolved from day one to what they evolved into day 20, day 30,
Day 3000.
Exactly. So, we got this tune like this Mo Hippa, look.
I've heard that done a few different ways.
Oh, bro, look, and we constantly doing stuff different with it.
Yeah. So
it isn't like you're gonna come and hear it the same way every time.
Can you remember what it was originally?
Well, before we had this here, we didn't even have that intro.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Big D did a thing on guitar, and then when the band come in, you know what I mean? And that's everybody in.
Yeah.
But then, me and D had came up with this little, what I just, you know what I mean?
I can still hear that pocket underneath it.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean? And that line, actually, Jelly Bean, when Jon had brought the idea, the tune, right? And Jelly Bean started playing this groove. that regular New Orleans, almost that street kind of shit, you know what I mean? So, and I got to hear what Big D was doing, and then what Jon was doing, and there was a lot of stuff that they was doing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come very simple so I didn't complicate it or either muddy it up. You know what I'm saying? So keep bearing in mind, the song, to me, that is, the song have to breathe. In order for it to breathe, somebody's got to get deep in the pocket and it's got to hold it. Okay, so then here I come. And all that is, and I got the idea from.
What?
Yeah, that's where the idea came from.
No way.
Yeah, man. That's exactly where that whole thing came from. You know what I'm saying? Because I was saying, you know what? Man, this would be so killer if I just hold the one note, but just do that same kind of lick.
Because it kind of lines up with the drums, but it kind of plays off what the drum beat's doing.
That's right.
And so when I heard that song, I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be that one note on the bass.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like it fits it perfectly.
That's right.
Because it gives everybody else space to do their stuff on top.
And that was the whole thinking behind that. You know, I mean, I didn't want to get in the way. And I didn't want to overplay it.
Sure.
You know, so, and to me, for the most part, a bass player and a drummer, man, I mean, we really have to think along those lines because, again, it goes back to the fundamental rule. It's a foundation. In order for anything to be built on top of it, that foundation has got to be solid.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me. I will groove your ass all night. And I don't care if it's just one line. I will groove the piss out of that one line and make you love it.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, you're going to be like, dude, you didn't do hardly anything, but it felt so good.
Job done.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm pleased then, you know, because I reached somebody that got it.
But all, you know, in that context of Jon Cleary and the Monster Gentleman, like, you guys have a lot of history together.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that makes it somewhat easier to know where you can step and where you can't step.
Of course, because in the beginning, look, and this is like with anything. I mean, you get
any kind of relationship,
right? You get in any new kind of relationship, there's a lot of stuff you gotta step out of boundaries to learn where you can and can't step out of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's just a known fact. So, you know, I mean, look, we had our hiccups, and you know, I mean, I've had all my play time, and you know, I mean, because of course I was much younger, I was probably doing way too much shit.
No.
Oh yeah, bro. I probably was doing. Yeah, I was. Listening to a whole bunch of shit. But anyway, I was probably doing way too much stuff. But at the end of the day, I did mature, and I'm still maturing.
Probably you guys matured together as well. Are you all kind of similar age groups?
Well, me and Big D, you know, I mean, I've been playing with Big D, oh God, since, you know, kids, you know, I mean, because we was playing with this gospel group called the Friendly Travelers.
Okay.
And man, you know, I mean, I think I'm wrong by saying that the Friendly Travelers was way ahead of their time, because we was doing stuff that, you know, a lot of quartets wasn't even touching. And
in terms of
going out of what is called the quartet, the quartet comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay, so quartets was back in the day was basically just one style of playing
of gospel.
And of playing gospel. Well, me and Big D coming from a bit of the secular area, and
Wild Boys.
Yeah, so I mean, we had all these creative ideas.
Yeah.
And bringing that to a band that was already singing, I mean, singing amazing stuff already. We actually added a whole nother element from the musical side of things, and we pushed them to push their boundaries, you know, and push them into other areas where they was like, because they were already headed that way anyway. So all we did was just open up that envelope and just let them out. And man, I mean, it was unbelievable, dude. I mean, we would
was that kind of like your school in a way?
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, actually, I like to say that's where I really learned a lot about being a bass player.
Yeah.
And also vocalist. You know, I mean, because Friendly Travelers, man, I mean, everybody had to sing.
Right.
So, you know, I mean,
and sing well, I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, I don't give myself a whole lot of credit because I think it's so much more that I'm still learning, and there's so much more I want to learn, you know. But, I mean, I'll just let other people be the judge of
what's good and what's not.
What's good and what isn't. So, but I mean, I love it. You know, I mean, I love the challenge. I love the challenge of being able to sing and also being able to hold on the bass as well as sing as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And getting with a band like the Absolute Monster Gentlemen, it actually really, really broadens that horizon. You know, because I mean, it's only 4 of us, and sometimes it's just 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we also do it as a trio as well. And what actually makes that as full as it is a lot of vocals.
Yeah.
You know, and that's so important, you know.
And that balance of playing deep rhythmic pocket and singing melodies on top.
Right.
That's tough.
Yeah, and then sometimes you playing totally against what you're playing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're singing totally against what you're playing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could be playing a totally different pattern of a rhythm, but you're singing a whole nother.
People say.
Oh, yeah,
that's all in between.
Right. So, I mean, look, it's all a beautiful challenge. You know.
So do you just kind of slow that stuff down and shed it, or do you learn it on the gig?
Well, what I do first? Well, it could be either or. Sometimes I'll learn vocal stuff before, just so I can know exactly where the vocals should actually be.
Yeah.
Then I'll come back and I'll make sure that I got the line that I have to play, and where that needs to set.
Yeah.
And then I'll start trying to put them both together. Now, sometimes I'll learn the line first.
Yeah.
And then come in
with the vocal
and learn the vocal, and then I'll put them together. But it's either going to be one or the two. I'll make sure I got one of them down before the other.
Okay, so it's not taking
No. I mean, it doesn't really come together until after I've learned both parts
separately,
and then I come, because think about it. I mean, if you're singing a line, a background part, or either a lead vocal part as well, when you're singing that part, you're already hearing the music. You're already hearing where your vocal needs to fit in the music. So then, I mean, it makes it almost less complicated when you come back and you say, okay, now I know the music is this, and you get the music and you get on the music, you just perfect that line, and you get on that line, and then you figure out exactly where that vocal at. Well, then by the time you come and you put them both together, well, then you've learned both of them. So now it's just a matter of just making them both fit now.
Of getting used to the feeling of them both at the same time. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
let's talk a little bit about Big D, because he's a favorite of
phenomenal
fan favorite. Lots of my guitar player friends are
phenomenal. I mean,
like he brings something unique to that band,
man.
But it's so I guess like like yourself, it's kind of understated, but yet just in the exact place it should be.
Well, the thing of it is that Big D has got such a great judgment of feel, and the soul aspect of it. It's just so tasteful.
Yeah.
And he understands that.
Yeah. And he's also got some jazz language in
Oh
there.
Yeah. I mean, he's constantly evolving. I mean, I've seen D grown so much, man. It's just unbelievable, you know? I mean, like, look, I mean, that's the bottom line is that we would always be brothers from another mother.
Yeah.
You know, so we actually come up and when I say this here, man, there was a time, a period in time where we was basically living in the same house together.
Right.
And bruh, that was so crazy because there were times that I would wake up almost like in the middle of the night and I thought about a lick, you know, and I go in there and wake the ass up. D, bruh. And he get up like, Nell, what you got? You got something? I say, yeah, bro. I said, I don't want to forget this. Let's sit down and talk about this.
The hunger of youth.
Yeah, bro. And we get there, and before you know it, we done spent 3-4 hours just sitting down there, going over shit.
That's unique. That's a special thing.
Yeah. And then even after that, we would still call each other.
Yeah.
Well, we would call each other every day. You know, 6, 7, 8, 20 times a day, basically. I mean, if we wasn't with each other. And, you know, we would talk about doing this and doing that, and this here would go here, and what do you think of this? And, you know what I'm saying? So it was always something new, something fresh that we would actually be coming up with. You know, and these, and you know, I mean, like that, line of we doing that Tipitina's thing.
Yeah.
You know. That part. That came later.
Later, yeah.
You know, and we've even changed it up again. Yeah. We got a whole nother thing that we do in the beginning instead of going right to that.
Yeah.
We came up with a whole nother deal on that again. You know, so you know, I mean, it's just like I'm saying. It changes and it varies, but it always enhances.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It always adds something because look, we don't want to get complacent. You know what I mean? It's like if
just because you got the gig doesn't mean that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's always room for learning. You know, and that's one of the things that's one of the beauties of music. You're not gonna ever learn it all, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you always can learn.
Totally. And
I love it.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love
it. I get the feeling that everybody in the band is of that same kind of, John's always trying to go for things.
Man, that's one of the beauties of actually playing with Jon, because Jon would throw a few curveballs at you, man, and it's like you just got to be ready. You know what I mean? Because it's all in the heat of the moment. It's all in the mood rather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not gonna feel it the same way every night. So, you know, I mean, now the good thing is that he will give you ideas where it could go, you know, from one section to another. Mm-hmm. So at least you'd have an idea. If he does this, well, then he's gonna do that.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, it's not like as if he throws you right out there. You will have an idea because he'll make those points in rehearsals.
Cool.
You know, he said, well, look, you know, I mean, I may do this, you know, or, you know, I mean, I may set this up opposed to doing it the way that we would normally set it up.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, that, and look, I mean, that helps to keep it all interesting.
For sure.
Again, there's a different type of being bored. You know what I mean? So Jon really keeps it interesting.
I mean, how long have you been playing with him?
Probably too long. No, I mean, I would say over 20 years now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was right there in the beginning, you know.
How'd you get the gig?
Well, what happened was Jon was in New Orleans, and he was living at a Burt's Grocery, which we call it FHQ, Funk Headquarters. So he was coming home one Sunday evening. He was walking and me and Big D was playing with the Friendly Travelers over at a Cafe Brazil, which is on Frenchman and Charters. Jon used to live on Charters. So he was walking home, and we went there with the Friendly Travelers, and he heard us, and he did a double take, and he came in. He said, "Man," he said, "Boy," he said, "What's that?" He said, "Boy," he said, "That sounds really good." And we went in there just killing it. I mean, just killing it. And Jon came in and checked it out, man. And afterwards, you know, he talked to us, and we met and everything. Me, him, Big D, the Friendly Travels, and all that. So, you know, Jon to make a long story short, a little while after that, you know, he talked to me and D about him wanting to put a band together, you know, and start a band, you know.
And was he signed at this point, or you guys kind of really just, you know, you were a band together and then trying to get the deal and get the and stuff, or was everything kind of in place and he was finding guys? No,
it wasn't in place at all.
Right.
This was before he had management or anything.
Right.
You know, this was him. You know, I mean, he had been in New Orleans for a long time, and of course because of visa, you know, he couldn't stay for no more than a period of time and go back, restructure the visa, come back, and this and that. So, you know, I mean, we went through that thing there for years, you know, you know, and then just to bring things current, he had some problems with the visa, and they had told him say he wouldn't be able to come back and to the country. So the girl, the young lady he was dating at the time, which is Patricia Gorman, beautiful lady. I got nothing but mad respect for her. Her and Jon wound up getting married, and he was able to
come back in
and stay, you know. And they went through the whole process, which was a really long process of immigration, and all that stuff. I mean, you know, I mean, look, it didn't come easy for him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean,
he's worked hard.
He has, and you know, I mean,
he's obviously been, you know, a lot of these guys who are solo or fronting, they'll have a different band every tour, but he seems to have been pretty loyal to you guys, and obviously vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, he has. You know, you know. I mean, look. I mean, you know, we don't always see eye to eye on everything, and that's understandable. You know, you know. I mean, you're gonna have that. You know, and all the grow from anything. You know, you're gonna have different opinions and different views in that. So, you know, I mean, it just boils down to how well you can adjust to each one's view and points. You know, so
especially when you're on the road for. I mean, how many months a year do you reckon you're at?
Well, you know, I mean, it's getting more and more.
Is it?
Yeah. So, yeah. It is. but you know, I mean, look, for the most part, mate. I mean, this is like one of the best kind of situations, because for the most part we all get along well. You know, I mean, and it's just about not getting in each other's way. You know, so you know, and having respect from one to the next.
Just like on stage.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, I mean, it all plays itself out. You know, it's just that, you know, if you want it to really be positive and really sweet, then you know you've got to give a little, take a little, you know, and the bottom line, you've got to have respect for one another. So, you know, I mean, me and Jon, we basically, you know, we look at each other as brothers, you know, from other mothers. You know, I mean, I always, you know, I may announce him sometime on stage, and I'll say, yeah, you know, he from London, from England, you know, but by way of New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? And he has definitely adapt to the New Orleans traditions and the New Orleans ways.
Well, you can hear it in his accent.
yeah. And he loves producing and doing the New Orleans music, man.
Let's talk a little bit about New Orleans, because it's a unique thing. You know, there's no place like it. I haven't been yet, but I know anybody that's been there has just been. It's its own little universe. You know?
It's only the jewel of the world, mate.
Oh.
It's only the jewel of the world.
That's all.
You know, and everybody wants to come and see that jewel.
How do you think? I'm assuming you grew up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Born and raised.
I mean, what was your kind of early influences in terms of bass and music? You know, coming from there. You
know, my mom's and I mean, I'll start this by going to my mom's, which is a bit of a situation for me, because I just recently lost my mom's about 2 years now, but my mom's was a B3 player. She strictly gospel. That was her thing. But you know, I mean, my mom's would do 4 and 5 churches a Sunday, and she would drag me and my sister, and when my little brother came along, it was all 3 of us. She would drag us to all of these churches.
That's a lot of church sermons.
Yeah. So my background is full of gospel,
right? And
I love it. New Orleans has a very, very healthy gospel community there. And I learned most of what I do is gospel influences. Now, having said that, I come up Stanley Clark, Brother Johnson's, and it's just a whole host of others.
Earth, Wind and Fire, maybe.
Yeah, of course, Pradine and all. Yeah, man. You're not gonna, Stevie.
Sure.
Willie Weeks. The list just goes on and on.
Yeah.
Of course, Marvin Gaye and all that. You know what I mean? So, that was a lot of my influences, but I had a real healthy gospel influence. So, I learned a lot of that gospel stuff, man. My moms would do it all the time.
And what would you say is like the gospel, typical kind of gospel sound, if you know what I mean? Like if somebody from Scotland, who's never set foot inside a gospel church in the States, like what? I got an idea, but at the same time, it's like, well, is it funky blues? Is it jazz harmony? Like what?
Man,
what is it?
It just depends. I mean, because you can get real traditional.
Yeah.
And I mean, just from when I say real traditional, you can go just they would just clap and stomp their feet.
Right.
And just sing, and then you can go to this real contemporary, just to bring it current, you got John P. Key, Fred Hammond, you got
Israel Houghton.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you just it just can get as contemporary if you don't have words to it. It can easily be a secular song.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I mean, because the music is so funky.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like John P. Key, I mean, his band is just unreal.
Can you spot when you hear somebody play or see somebody play? Are you able to kind of like go, he's got a church background?
Oh yes, indeed, easy, mate. I mean, you know, I mean, I could pick him out just about every time, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really like I play. Whenever I'm home, I do this church, Blessed Sacrament St. Joan of Arc. That's like my little church family there, you know, and we have an awesome choir, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're in New Orleans, that's one you have to come check out.
Okay.
Blessed Sacrament St. Joan of Arc. It's in the Carrollton area. It's actually almost literally right around the corner from the Maple Leaf Bar, which is one of the prominent spots that the Absolute Monster Gentlemen's play, because we actually basically started at the Maple Leaf. Right. The Maple Leaf Bar.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, with St. Joan of Arc is just right around the corner from there.
Yeah, cool.
So, for all of our listeners out there, listen, if you're ever in New Orleans, Sunday morning, starts at 10 o'clock. You might want to get there early if you want to get a seat, because it's normally wall-to-wall people anyway.
Wow.
You know, I mean, yeah. And I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but when I'm actually there, it's just great.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I gotta give a big shout out to them. I mean, and Father Chuck, which is the father at the church. It's a Catholic church, by the way.
Okay.
But it's like no other Catholic church you've probably ever been to in your life.
I'll bet.
It's Catholic on steroids. That's how I put it. Because it's so funky, man. You know. I mean, I got this awesome drum I plays with, which is Adrian Smith, and look, when me and him lock in together, it's just like magic.
Just having fun.
Yeah, man, it's just like magic. So and Tyrone Foster is the director, is the choir director. And amazing vocalist, amazing director. He's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time I met you was probably about 10 years ago.
Wow.
In Edinburgh.
God.
You were playing the Fringe Festival, the Jazz Festival out there.
Okay.
I remember speaking to you after the show and asking you, what was happening, and you were talking about your project Pocket Time.
Yeah, man, that's a project that me and Big D was actually getting going. We've done a few things with it, but then it sort of kind of fizzled out a little bit, because
I was waiting for the album or something.
Right. I mean, but the thing of it is that Big D has got a few things that he's trying to get a handle upon as far as his well-being,
right,
and so he can prolong his life and live longer, so he can be around to do some of this great stuff for a long time. So
please do.
Yeah. So I mean, as a matter of fact, as of right now, he's prepping to get ready to have this procedure done, and he's gonna really get a handle on things.
Okay.
So
well,
I encourage that.
Yeah.
So that project is sort of like just kind of on hold a little bit, unfortunately.
And what was it? What was your?
Well, I mean, Pocket Time was it could go in so many ways. I mean, because we have done a incredible show, man, which was in Bay St. Louis, and this was about a year ago now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we had Kendrick Marshall on keys, which is, if you ever hear that this cat is playing somewhere, you must go check him out.
Okay.
Kendrick Marshall, he's unbelievable, really.
Young cat or?
Yeah, and we had Jameson Ross on drums, which he was actually nominated for on a Grammy for best jazz vocalist, and we had him on drums, and me and Big D, and it was just unbelievable, man.
And you're playing originals or covers, or
yeah. I mean, we did a couple of few originals, but for the most part, it was covers. You know, we covered, you know, from Herbie Hancock to another one of my favorite artists, Chuck Brown in the Go-Go Groups.
Yeah, in the Soul Seekers.
No, Chuck Brown.
Oh, Chuck Brown.
Yeah, it's Chuck Brown. You know, with the Go-Go Groups from DC.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, we covered a pretty good range of things as far as that particular style of music goes, and also some Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Which I just absolutely love. I mean, What's Going On, that's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
One of my classics, you know. And some stuff by Stevie as well.
Cool.
So, yeah. I mean, but the band itself was I should say, it's just incredible. You know, when you get them type of musicians, that's actually on the gig with you, man, it's just complete magic.
Awesome.
Yeah. But we actually also working on another project which is called the OGs. so I mean, and that's that name there is basically because me and Big D, we're getting a little older now, so you know, I mean, a lot of the guys from the musician family, you know, they kind of look at us as being the OGs. Oh, okay, there go the OGs, you know. So
embrace it.
Yeah. So we've actually took it and named the band after it.
Okay.
So I mean, it's called the OGs.
All right.
So you know, I mean, you should. I mean, you should be hearing some stuff from that.
And what's that?
That's gonna be a lot of original stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you write?
A lot of stuff I'm writing. A lot of stuff Big D's got a bunch of stuff he's written already.
I'm guessing it's going to be funky.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be funky, funky stuff, and also some just a straight nice blues too, mate.
Yeah, you were telling me in the car on the way over that you could do some blues touring.
Yeah. I'm looking at doing something with this cat Ken Lending, which is out of Denmark, Copenhagen.
Right.
And
how did?
Well, what happened was, and this was years ago, mate. Lillian Boutté and Jon Boutté. Lillian Boutté is a jazz singer, vocalist. Jon Boutté is too the same. But they got together and they put together, I think it was called the 1500 Voices, which is a big choir, mate. And I got called to come and do the bass. Ken Lending got called to come and do the guitar stuff on it.
Okay.
And that was how I actually met him.
Okay.
And we did this tour all over Denmark for like about a month. Actually, it was a little over a month.
Yeah.
And I mean, after that, we built up a really nice, you know, rapport with one another, and I mean, the rest is basically history. I mean, he's called me up on several occasions, you know, to do different things, and so I'm actually looking forward to hopefully, if the schedules and all works, you know, that we can get together and do this thing.
Yeah, coming back to the blues.
I don't mind the blues, mate.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I actually cover a blues tune, which is called "This Third Degree."
Okay.
Eric Clapton covered it. That was the version that I actually heard first. Was Eric Clapton's version of that, and I actually like that.
What's the vibe of it?
No, it's just a straight blue.
Yeah.
see a thing, no, no. Got me accused of petty. I can hardly raise my hands. Talking about bad luck, you know what I mean? Oh, this bad luck is killing me. You know what I mean? And I just can't stand, no, no. No more. This third degree. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's all like the vibe on that. But there's a spot in there, and I actually do a whistling solo. Yeah, mate. That
Wow.
That totally takes everybody by complete surprise.
Whistling?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? What? How? What?
Well, you know. I mean, I like to say I got it honest because my grandfather, man, was the best whistler that I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
And the only thing that's one of my only regrets in life, that I wasn't old enough to realize that I should have been recording it. So, I mean, I only have memories, and it's not like as if I can go back and press a button and
whistling, huh?
Yeah, bro. I mean, my grandfather was amazing.
The modulus. Now, as long as I've seen you play, I've seen you with this bass in your hands.
Look, modulus, man, has really been good to me because I'll tell you how it actually, came. Well, one of the ways it came about was I used to travel with the Friendly Travelers, and I had a couple of basses, man, that just got kind of messed up because I didn't, understand how it should really travel and all that. And detuning and, in order to keep your wood from warping and all that stuff and keep your neck from going, crazy on your neck. So
because the humid is quite humid in New Orleans, right? And
yeah,
if you're going from humid to dry, that's the
and then of course when you're flying, the pressure,
dry.
So I wanted a bass that was gonna be able to sustain that because of how I had to travel, and of course, I mean it would have been a lot different if I was traveling with a very big outfit. They grab all the equipment, they take all the equipment, they take care of it, get it to the gig.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wasn't with that kind of outfit, needless to say. So, but
you're in coach class.
Hey, you got to keep crawling before you can really walk. But then I had learned about modulus, and I had talked to this cat, Justin Hute, which was the representative for modulus at that time, and this guy here was amazing for me. He really took care of me. I gotta give him mad props. He was just great. So he turned me on to the whole deal, and he presented me with the modulus. He presented me with the 20th edition, and that was sweet, special. So I gave it a shot. Because just keep in mind I wasn't completely convinced.
Sure, because I'm guessing you're coming from a Fender thing.
Exactly. Gibson and Fender and all that stuff. So
it's a different.
So I mean, and then I wasn't completely sold on the whole graphite neck deal. At first, and I'm thinking, man, but what is it gonna sound like? It's probably like a tank, but what is it gonna really sound like and feel like?
Yeah.
And then when I got it, and I just lived with it for a few months and that, and it just grew on me.
Yeah.
you know, and then eventually I started doing gigs with it, and it was just getting better and better, and I'm constantly learning it and figuring out what are the sweet spots, what make it does this and what make it does, you know, does that. So I got quite comfortable, and then I found that, and this happened by accident. I actually went on a tour, and I done my first flight and everything with it, and I forgot to detune it, you know. So, and I didn't think about it till after I got to the hotel in Europe, and I said, oh man, I didn't. So I rushed and I took it out the bag, and I immediately went to playing it. It was still in tune, dude. It didn't come out of tune or anything. It was still straight. From that point on, I was like,
sold.
Okay, okay, Modulus.
Let's make this work.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, I mean, of course, I got back with the rep, and I said, dude, I said, I'm all right with this.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I mean, he actually sent me a fretless, which is amazing too.
Yeah.
Man. It's just a beautiful sounding instrument.
Yeah, I got a friend that's got a modulus fretless.
Yeah,
It's unreal.
Oh, it really is.
That
man.
fingerboard.
And unbelievable, man. So, you know, I mean, I was sold from that point, you know, and then, you know, I said, yeah. I mean, the kind of traveling that I actually do, you know, because I don't have anybody to actually personally do that, you know, like the big cats, you know.
Not even your wife?
Oh, no. No, man. No. I mean, look. I mean, she probably would give it a go.
That's devotion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you know, I mean, that's speaking of my wife. You just brought me there, so I'm gonna entertain that for just a little bit. My wife is incredible as well, man. She's a singer-songwriter, got a voice of an angel.
Yeah.
And she plays acoustic, and her songwriting is just unreal, man. She writes incredibly good. You know, I mean, just great.
Yeah.
And she's got a whole ton of original stuff that.
And you're telling me she's from Australia?
She's from Australia, man.
Right.
She's up originally from Georgetown, but spent most of her time in Cairns.
Cairns.
Yeah, around tropical.
Yeah, I'm sure this, you know, it's not even affected by the humidity up there. It's really become, I think, you know, part of your musical voice. I think, you know,
Yeah, I mean, because
the way that you play it kind of really brings out the best in it, I think.
I've actually embraced it, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Have you changed like the pickups?
Yeah. That's the only thing I changed was the pickup, because I actually put the Aguilar pickups and Aguilar preamp.
Okay.
In there, and
are you sponsored with Aguilar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've just got the new AG 700.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, compact. I can travel with it.
Did you bring it with you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And I put it in my backpack, and along with the bass right on the plane, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's perfect, and I can pair it up with just about any kind of combo, you know, any cabinets, you know. So it's great, and it sounds fantastic.
And this thing, it seems like it records really well. Do you use this in the studio on the albums? Or?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the album that my wife actually is still in the process of doing and completing. I actually use my other modulus, which is the 20th edition.
Okay.
And it's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Seems to just sit in that place in the mix really nicely.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, the engineers love it, man. You know, I mean, it isn't noisy. It's everything is even, and it's clear, you know. So, and it isn't hard for them to EQ, and yeah. I mean, it just adds another good element to what I'm actually doing.
You're here on the Go-Go Juice tour?
Yeah.
Did you play on the album?
You know, I didn't play on the album.
Okay.
No. I mean, this other great bass player, man. Another one of my idols. Yeah, bro. He's just phenomenal, man. Turner. Woo, bro.
Al Turner?
No, shit. I done forgot his first name. I call him a lot of stuff, but I done forgot his first name. But anyway, that'll come in a minute.
Okay.
But he's just unbelievable, and he actually played on the album.
Okay.
Yeah, to my credit, dude, I was actually touring and doing some other stuff when they were doing a lot of the tracking and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But Big D is on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you like the studio environment?
I love the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I mean, I love recording. I love going in there and being creative.
Is it generally live in the room kind of thing, or do you do overdubs?
Well, for the most part, it's live in the room.
Cool. Yeah.
And I actually like that because you get a good live feel.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to put anything against overdubbing.
Yeah. It just depends what the material is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, if that's what it calls for, I love that part of it. And I don't have anything against, just like I said, against overdubbing.
Yeah.
But because I could adapt to that too.
Sure.
So.
And do you still do much practicing when you're out on the road or at home? Do you pick it up and
mate.
work on stuff?
Yeah. I do actually. There's a awesome bass player, Robert May.
Okay.
Out of New Orleans, man, and he's actually a music major, bassist, bruh. I've been getting with him, and we've been, he's been teaching me, the different scales and different, fundamental stuff and modes and all that stuff. So.
Still working on it.
I'm still working on it, man.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, I have a long way to go, and I mean that's just me being where I think I am. You know what I mean?
The more you know, the more you realize you still have to learn.
Right.
In this industry. I think,
exactly. That's a good statement.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of warm up stuff that you go through to get yourself into before you play, or are you kind of usually just good to go?
No. I mean, of course, I mean, you do the do re mi fa sol la ti stuff, and I mean, I just do that and run that, and I'll come back and do a couple of which is where I'm at. I'm learning modes and that. So, I mean, I'll do that and get that all going. I mean, I like to get at least about a good hour to 2 hours just kind of settling in, just to get everything lubricated and get everything warmed up.
Because I know some guys are just like 10 minutes just off
go. Yeah. I mean, look, generally I like to do it like that, I mean, because I'd sit in the room and I'd just warm up and just and then plus I do vocal exercises and all that.
Yeah.
So because I'm still trying to learn how to do that singing thing too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll get there and I'll do the vocal warm ups and along with the vocal warm ups I'll play. I mean, I'll do that almost at the same time, because it also helps me to stay in the frame of being able to sing and play at the same time.
Yeah.
So the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah, but just trying to get into that headspace.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Before we go, do you reckon you can maybe show us some classic New Orleans grooves or variations and stuff like that? Think of anything?
New Orleans.
If there is such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I mean, they got the whole Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And it's basically a lot of syncopated stuff. Like Jon do a tune, come on second line, and the drums will start that, and then I mean, when I come in and You know, so I mean, it's just a lot of syncopated.
I guess fundamentally that's kind of emulating like the sousaphone. Bum.
Yeah,
bum,
that's right.
Kind of
That's right.
Marching.
That's right. Like your brass band kind of
Brass
stuff.
band kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot less of is just. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can manipulate.
Who thought 1/5 could be that funky?
Bruh. For real though. Yeah. But New Orleans just has this thing, man, that I almost want to say it just goes sometimes against a lot of the music known, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but anybody that's actually from New Orleans or grew up there, you know, I mean, that stuff is just in us, man, because we hear it.
You know, sometimes you'd be on a gig and they'll be like, oh, let's do this in a kind of New Orleans vibe and stuff like that. And, you know, apart from, you know, you guys, my other reference would be the Meters.
Oh, yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of course, you guys do.
Yeah, people say.
And Just Kiss My Baby.
And Just Kiss My Baby. Yeah.
You guys do a great version of that. That is
we
so
love
heavy.
it too, man. We love it. Yeah, we'll probably do that one tonight. That Just Kiss. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be like.
For sure. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'll try and make sure he do it tonight if I know you're gonna be there.
That'd be great, man.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
Man, I tell you what. This was just brilliant, man. I tell you, this is a long time coming.
Oh yeah.
You know? I'm glad that you could, and you know, just introduce me into your world of things, and you know,
it's absolutely my pleasure, man. It's so great to have you around. Cornell Williams, everybody in the house.
Yeah, man. They call me Nell.
Nell.
That's him.
That's it. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
guys.
Bro.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next time.
Hasta luego, baby.